Hey everyone, this is Randy from BibleBuyingGuide.com. Today I'm taking a look at the New King James Evangelical Study Bible from Thomas Nelson and Liberty University. So this does follow the Liberty University doctrinal standpoints. So all the notes and things in it are from them. It is a verse-by-verse commentary, 100 short articles on Christian teachings and doctrine, 50 articles on navigating current cultural issues, 100 archaeological notes. These are my favorite notes in the Bible. And you'll see why as we go. Brief biographies of more than 100 biblical figures, and then lots of full-color charts and maps within the text, book introductions and outlines, a couple of topical indexes, cross-references, concordance, and a 10.5 font in the comfort print. And it is very readable. But one thing they don't mention is that it has 36 GSM paper, and that is amazing. So I'm reviewing it in black genuine leather. It looks like cowhide. It has a pebbly grain, a little bit of a thin leather, but not too bad. Paste down liner, kinda flexible. Nothing on the front, perimeter stitching. There's the spine. A little floppy, so you can you do feel that little bit of floppiness to it. Stays open really well. No problem at all. Presentation page, 36 GSM paper, is highly opaque, easy to turn. Love this paper, extremely opaque. You'll see as we go. So printed in China. There's all the information. There's the contributors. And let's see, we've got doctrinal footnotes, personality profiles, archaeological sites, apologetics articles, lots of questions, lots of little tools along that line. There's the contributors. Paper's easy to grab and turn. I like to separate pages within my fingers. It is a full color edition, so lots of photos. So we'll go through what we have here, and then we'll see it in the text. So we have annotations, and these on verse by verse, and the portion of the verse that it refers to is in blue. Then doctrinal footnotes, and then those are in a box. Personality profiles, and they have a box with either a pink background for women or a blue background for men. Archaeological sites, and they include lots of photos. They have photos of the locations and of artifacts if they're available. Lots of good information about those. Apologetics articles, and these cover basic apologetics, and they'll ask a question and they'll give you information from Scripture. In-text maps, and these are usually at the bottom of the page, but sometimes within the text too. And then in the biblical text, it shows how everything works. So if you're familiar with the New King James, then you're going to be familiar with all this anyway, but it's things like the footnotes and that sort of thing. And this does have the full set of translators' footnotes. A couple of articles. Here's about the Bible, how to study the Bible. Then we'll see a few more articles as we go. God's answers to our concerns, and this will be it's in alphabetical order. It'll give you the concern, and then it'll give you some scripture references to look up. That's 2 pages. Then we have an introduction to the Old Testament. There's also an introduction to the New Testament. The one for the New Testament is actually larger than the Old Testament. And then Book of Genesis. Each book of the Bible has a book introduction with a color header, and then the information. And this covers the author, the date, and of course every book's going to be a little bit different. Here's an outline and an image. Our text is in 2 columns. Now, references are in the center column with a tan background. If there are too many to fit in the center column, they're placed under the last verse. And then we just have 2 columns there, and then the footnotes, and then here's one of the articles. A little bit more of the text. The text is very readable. Lots of white space in the text. About 6 to 7 words per line. Some pages are going to have a lot more notes than others. Some artwork, lots of artwork through here. Archaeological information with an artifact. Some artwork. Some more artwork about Noah. Lots of archaeology in here. It's one of the maps, in-text maps. And the text does have the standard New King James formatting. Poetry looks really good. Letters are indented. It's an excellent text for reading. Section headings are in maybe a dark copper. I'm not exactly sure what color that is, but they do stand out really well. So you see lots of the articles, personality profiles. That's a lot of information. This Bible has around 2,200 pages, which is part of what took me so long to review this one. I had to separate them all. In your 50s, separating pages, it starts to get to your hands after a little while. I like the color in these. Lots of color photos. So let's get over here to see the poetry. So there's what poetry looks like. Poetry is separated in good places. You rarely see a line with a single word. Here's one, but there's not many. Not many at all. They're divided in really good places. Lots of color photos. And you see the questions and answers and all the things at the bottom of the pages as we go. It's a large map there. So it has a lot of archaeology, which is one of the reasons I like the archaeology in this so much. There's a lot of it. It's done really well. Something on tithing. So lots of small articles. So here we go. Between the Testaments, here's another article. There are not a lot of articles. The next one is Jewish sex. And then we have a chronology. And then Harmony of the Gospels. This is several pages. It's a pretty detailed table. And then Introduction to the New Testament. And then we get into the New Testament. So we have Order of the Gospels, authorship. So there's Matthew, Joseph and Mary, Bethlehem, Herod. A lot of archaeology. So when I say it's red letter, it's really more of a burgundy, which I love. I like a dark red, and this is a dark red. That red is easy to see, easy to read. The text is consistent. It's printed with line matching, so it's in the same location on both sides of the page. That does help readability. This looks really good. And of course, like always, with any study Bible, use the notes for reference and do your own study. And I would tell you that even if I wrote them. That's not a slam on any one particular point of view. And that is one thing I don't really like about this type of Bible, is the notes only give one point of view. I like it when they include multiple points of view, where possible. Sometimes there are only one point of view you can take, and that's fine. But sometimes that there are multiple points of view on some in some points, and I like to see it when more than one point is covered. However, this is from Liberty University, so the point of this is to show their point. So I get that. Here's one of the rare cases where we have an image within the text. There are a few. Not many, but there are a few. Most are at the bottom. There are a few areas where it's within the text itself. There are a couple like that. Red letter in the book of Revelation, as it should be. If you're going to have red, have it all the way through. That's my opinion. And then after the Bible, we have a topical index to Christ and the Gospels. This provides an index of Christ's life. So it's a little bit different than a table of Harmony of Gospels or something like that. It just gives you the topics. And then within the topics, you have several different points. And it gives you the point, and it gives you some information about it, and then scriptures. So that's really good for study. It's not large, but it's got some good information in it. Table of monies, weights, and measures. A couple of pages there. Jewish calendar, it gives you the month, what it corresponds to, the number of days, a little bit more information. Prayers of the Bible. It gives you the subject of the prayer, and then it tells you what the point of the prayer is, and then the reference. Concordance. This is a good concordance. I like this concordance. This is the one that they've used in other study Bibles. So here are the references for God, just to give you an idea of how many there are. So right here, and then all the way down to there. Then we have goddess, godhead, godliness, godly, gods. So quite a bit in there. And then we have maps. Now this only has 7 maps. Unlike some of the other study Bibles, which would have 15, this only has 7. There are the thick semi-gloss paper with annotations. Does not include an index like some of the other study Bibles do. So this is a good looking Bible. Lots of good information in here. 72,000 references or something like that. So this is the same references as the regular New King James Study Bible. And this is not the New King James Study Bible redone. I've had a couple of people ask me about that. Now, this is a different study Bible with Liberty University notes. And we'll compare that one in just a minute. So first, let's take a look at the size and weight. 6 5/8 by 9 5/8 by 2 inches, 3 pounds 13.3 ounces. So I like to compare it to the New King James Study Bible Full Color Edition. This is Lucinda's. So here's how they compare in size. Footprint's the same. Pretty much the same size. But the content is a lot different. So let's just take a look. So there are the book introductions. Quite a bit different. Let's see here. How to even show that. Alright, so there are the book introductions. So as you can see, it's quite a bit different information there. Then we'll go to the text and the notes. These do include the same image. And then here are the notes. And as you can see, the New King James Study Bible has a smaller font. It's also a black letter edition. So there's how the text compares. And then here are the notes. Let me bring this around. So there are the notes So quite a bit different notes. A little bit different tools. So that's my quick look at the Evangelical Study Bible. For the most part, it is just mainstream, following Liberty University. This is a good study Bible. I especially like the archaeological stuff, simply because there's so much of it. And I love photographs anyway. I like full color. It's got lots of locations, lots of artifacts, lots of maps. It helps visualize everything that's going on. It looks good, reads well. The notes, just like any study Bible, are going to have their certain point of view. So use that as reference. It's an elegant looking study Bible. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll place links in the notes so that you can make a purchase if you're interested. That does help the channel. It does help my website. Keep that running, which is getting more expensive actually. I'll place links to the written review where I always go into more detail. And then Thomas Nelson did supply this in exchange for an honest review. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.